Hello, Gems. This is Syafire, and I'm your host for the VTuber Voices podcast. On this podcast, we like to talk about what it's like to be a VTuber, to be virtual, grow your own business, and be creative. In this episode, we will be continuing our conversation with Fofamit. In this episode, Fofamit and I talk about are companies and people open to VTubers and open to what the future of VTubing is. We also cover a little bit about burnout and why you need to do more than just stream on Twitch. Twitch is not enough. And last we go in depth with some of the sponsorship experiences that we have had, as well as working with brands. Enjoy! You said, what content creators would you like to collab with?
Me?
Yeah.
I have a list, but it's more or less like I'm impeding on your territory, whereas like I started a podcast.
No, good. Let's go.
And,
yeah.
There's a delay right now because I decided to find a video editor for that because I just can't. I don't have time. I don't want to do it. It's like 40 minutes of editing.
Just listening and editing. Yeah, just simple stuff. Yeah, definitely hire someone for that.
Basically it would be for that, and it's just going to be other content creators that I've already had contact with, because like they're going to be someone that I know that would kind of like gel with whatever topic we're talking about at the time, because like I don't want to be like, hey, who's someone that would be like, hey, Leafeons, I know that you're really into art and talking about that kind of stuff, but we're going to be talking about cars and modeling, even though you know nothing about that. That's what I want you to be on. And you know what I mean? It has to match.
Exactly. I think I think a podcast is a really good medium for you too, just because of all the knowledge and like the way you like to talk about stuff and sort of get in depth. So I think that's a really good idea for you. Rosa says, do you think people and companies who don't do VTubing are now more open to VTubers? That's a good question.
I would say right now, it depends.
Like very specific, like it'd have to be super specific.
So like right now, there's a whole thing with virtual production that's actually like becoming popular now. And I would say
Samsung girl.
Possibly yes. But I think like even though anime is becoming more popular now, it's gonna be a niche. And like I guess like if you want to appeal to like the Western audience, you gotta look less anime, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like I think that's like part of the like 𝐒𝐿, for example, like there's like a little bit of anime in there, but like it's more westernized.
Agreed.
And I also I saw that your live 2D is your live 2D made by who made your live 2D?
I rigged my live 2D and drew my live 2D.
Yeah, okay, so like that's another great example of something that's like a little anime, but with a Western twist on it.
Yeah.
And I think like that kind of style will appeal more to the North American market.
Absolutely. That's an interesting point too, like bringing in the type of style in that people bring that into their own brand. Because I think people are still like a little suspicious of VTubers, or I still think a lot of people, like as big as VTubing seems, I don't think it's not as big as people like imagine it to be. Because people who know of it, they think it's like the biggest thing in the world right now, but I think it's still very much in like a developing phase. And to be honest, I see it going as far as like literally, so like Wendy's is, I don't know if there's Wendy's in your country, but Wendy's is like a fast food restaurant, and they have, so just think of any like fast food restaurant, they have their mascot Wendy. And I was like, oh, what if like they hire someone on their marketing team to stream live on Twitch as their fast food mascot in a VTuber form? That'd be like genius marketing, because then it's like, oh, the mascot from this fast food place is like interacting with me. And I think that we might see it develop in that kind of way. I'm not sure how yet, but
I think the thing that would be the biggest obstacle to something like that, though, like I do 100% see that, but the issue is that right now VTubing requires a person speak on behalf of a company,
right?
And in order to have the full control that they want, would require a lot of money. However, like they can make it more independent, but then they're running like a risk of like having a person represent their entire brand.
I agree with you. That's why I think it would come down to being like hiring like a professional actor or something, like having a bunch of people act and like, this is your character. And I don't know like how they would script it, or be like, these are the character traits. And maybe they do a bunch of like test things, or they have random fans and they sort of see how they interact. But yeah, it could create issues. It could create like, oh my God, Wendy said this, and now everybody doesn't want to eat at Wendy's anymore because of what, right? But I think that happens no matter what, like VTuber or not. I think that just naturally happens with branding and companies in general.
Well, yeah, I think that's already happened with insurance commercials, right? Like the progressive what's her name, Flo,
yeah.
And then like, so like technically she's like a representative, and she has like a whole bunch of things that like she's not allowed to do online because she's the representation of like progressive.
Oh really?
So like I think that's like a great example of like what it would take.
That's super cool though. That's really interesting. I'm interested to see how that sort of develops for everybody, like just across the world in general. So my next question is, have you ever faced a burnout as a creator? If so, how did you deal and cope with it?
I think I've been trying to manage that a lot more because I've seen other people do things. But like basically my advice to stave off any burnout, because I haven't really experienced that to a great extent, is I think the main issue with Twitch is people burn out really quick because they do more than they're able to do. So like I know some people that used to stream like 5 times a week, 8 hours a day, and like don't do that because it doesn't give you any benefit other than like it's kind of a waste of time. And let me explain why it's a waste of time. Twitch has 0 discoverability, and you're not going to really get new viewers unless like you are being discovered. And just by being live doesn't mean anything. So like, for example, like if you're streaming, like, let's say like Minecraft, and you've been live for 6 hours, like, but let's say you only have like, let's say 50 viewers or 10 viewers or 5 viewers, like even at 100 viewers, you have to scroll down so far in order to be found. So like, it's best to like, instead of try to use your time more wisely, to like have shorter streams and like use that other time that you would have spent streaming just like thinking about like what other things you can do on other platforms to be discovered. Try to manage those to a certain extent. Like don't overburden yourself. Don't be too worried about numbers in the way that like it negatively impacts you. Just try to think of it in terms of like, for example, like on YouTube, like if you start making a video once a week, use the numbers and the analytics to think, not like valuing you as a person, but think of it as like a tool to be like, okay, what do I need to work on? What was working? Because YouTube's super great for that. They tell you like when people are clicking off your video or when people are like are becoming more engaged in your video. And then you'll know like what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong.
For sure. And I think I've had this conversation with a few other people as well about the hard thing is it's so much easier to like mentally to just click go live, at least in my opinion, on Twitch and just like receive instant gratification of like follows or subs or someone just coming in or saying like, yo, like it's so great to see you, you're awesome. Like that's so much easier than putting in that time beforehand to like post a YouTube video and you don't know how it's gonna go. So yeah, I think it's easy to get caught in the trap of continuing to go live, but there's definitely like, if you want to be a long-term like sustainable content creator, you have to have a YouTube channel. You have to have discoverable content, as Fofa said, because you are not discoverable on Twitch until they change that, if they change that, and who knows how that's gonna go. Alexa says that there are brands that are there brands that you'd like to collab? I love to discover products that have reviews of people I see videos. So any specific brands over just like other VTubers?
Brands? Well, I did mention 𝐒𝐿𝐴. I was gonna do I was in the I already worked a little bit with Dynamics, but I didn't release anything about it because like no one's gonna spend $300 a month. In terms of like other brands, I just got sponsored by 𝐿𝐴MERSUPS. I know a lot of people have it, but like it's something that I was actually interested in, something I actually use. So in terms of, I guess, like sponsorships, it's like in brands, it has to be something that, for me, it's something that I actually would use or like could recommend to like my personal friends.
And that's, again, that's like I said, going off of some of the earlier conversations we had too, that's really responsible of you. And the same thing too with like, oh, nobody's gonna spend $300 a month. You're being super honest about like, even if I did sponsor this brand, is this something I believe in? Is this something that I would do? And putting yourself in that position before you put your audience in that position is really cool. As far as sponsors, I'm in such a weird spot right now because like I told you, I'm kind of moving away from like VTuber stuff. But so for one, I'd really like to do stuff with Wacom or with like any tablet company, honestly, because lots of people come into my art streams and ask me what tablet I recommend. And like, it's hard for me to do that because, you know, tablets are really expensive. So it's hard to recommend it if I haven't used it tangibly, like myself with my hands, like drawing, setting it all up, all that stuff. So I want to reach out to them, but I don't feel like I have enough art content on my channel for that to seem like feasible for them. I think I need to push more art content out first.
I see that you use a 22-inch Cintiq.
Yes, I do. It's a big boy. It's so nice.
Well, have you ever tried 𝐒𝐲𝐚?
𝐒𝐲𝐚. But I've heard really good things about 𝐒𝐲𝐚.
I would say like you could, I don't know, like
I guess, you know, I could start with like reviewing my own tablet and like see how that video goes or something, and then if that does well, then I could reach out and like show them an example of a tablet review. But I already have it out of the box and stuff, so like, do I just like play it up, re-put it back in the box? Guys, look at my new tablet.
If you have the box, why not?
Actually, I don't even know if I have the box. I'm gonna do like a makeshift box. Be like, guys, look at this totally not like handmade box for my tablet. That'd be so dumb.
What you could do is like the 𝐒𝐲𝐚 Canvas 13 is, I think it's like it's pretty decent, and like I would say like what you could do is like you could buy it, you could try it, and then make sure that you add it to your taxes as a deductible, and then you could also give it away if you end up gonna, so it doesn't sit away after you're done using it.
Big brain. Yeah, because then I can do a video on it, and then I can do a tablet giveaway, and that could be like a really good lead into tablet sponsorships.
And then have a Amazon affiliate link.
Yes, connect it all. Whoop, whoop. I only learned about that recently too, which is awesome. And I told everybody like in the community, like, yo guys, you should do Amazon affiliate, because we have lots of VTubers in the community with their own stuff going on as well. So massive brain. I think tablet companies though are like probably the main thing right now. No like specific VR company in mind at the moment. Of course, like bigger companies like HTC and all that would be great, but I know they don't do sponsorships. Like maybe they do, but usually it's very, very rarely. Like Oculus or anything like that, maybe, just because it'd be nice to review stuff, because I think I'm a pretty honest person. So again, yeah, I think that'd be helpful, but nothing else has really crossed my mind. But I have to do more looking into sponsorships. It's really something that I keep putting off. I keep just shoving it to the side. I'm like, no, I'll worry about that later.
Yeah, it's honestly like once you hit a certain size, like it's not even like you'll start getting emails. It's basically like you'll get a lot of garbage. Like as an example, like I'm pretty sure it's not just me, but a lot of people get these emails like say, hey, I'm an artist, or I represent this artist, and I would love if you like checked out the music and you can use it on your stream or your YouTube videos. And like my first question I always fire back is, great, I would love to, can I have a sync license? And then they're like, they just insist on, like they just ignore that question and just talk about how great the music is. And like without a sync license, you're open up to like future like DMCA claims.
Oh my gosh, good for you though, knowing that too, and being able to sort of rebuttal with it. That's interesting though, how
like synchronization license, creamy.
Sync license, yeah, sync, SYNC, right? Sync. I did get reached out to as well by what is it called? Stream Raider? Yeah, Stream Raiders. You might have heard of them before. And they're they're releasing a new it was great, but I don't know if like, no, I don't think I responded too late, but they're releasing a new, like they had something in development. It was Raid Dungeon or something like that. They have a new one coming out, and they reached out to me and they offered me, I think it was like $100 for like maybe, I think it was like 3 half-hour raid battles throughout the week and play. I don't remember exactly what the requirements were, but I felt super like undervalued with what they offered. So I like kind of sent back and I was like, this is what I'm offering. I could even mention you guys on my podcast. I offered like mentioning you at the beginning of some of my YouTube videos, and they never responded. So I don't know what happened, but
it's in terms of like valuation, it's tough. Like right now, I don't know how to really value myself, but what I will say is unless you like desperately want like whatever they have to offer, don't do it for free. And like if you have to buy anything, don't do it. Like for example, like I'm probably never gonna work with this company. What I'm saying does not represent the views of Syafire.
Thank you.
But like Razer, I'll never probably ever work with Razer, because like their whole affiliate program is like you have to buy all the peripherals first, or you can even apply to become an like
I don't like that
for them.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it's like, is the shape of this affiliate program a pyramid?
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah, and I think it comes back to like just finding companies and such that you can work with that are more honest and willing to really work with the creator, because you can definitely see with some companies that that's not their first priority. And I'm not saying that it should be, but I know that, you know, a lot more creators would be open to working with them if it was a little bit more flexible, maybe is the word I'm looking for. But yeah,
like in terms of valuing and valuations though, it's like it's really tough because like I'm not gonna go public with like the numbers that I've been able to like get, but like I would say that if you're able to get a brand working with you and it's like a sponsorship slash affiliate style thing where it's a product that you would either get for free and then like you get like a certain percentage back based on like if people use your link, that's probably the best way to go.
I think
way, like you, if a future brand approaches you and like, hey, I want to give you cash dollars, this is how much we're going to give you, and you're like, well, actually, as you can see with my numbers with this brand, I think this number would be more fair. And then you can start negotiating that way.
I think it depends on the type of content you make too, though, because since you have a lot of tech heavy stuff, there's oftentimes you are recommending and people look up to you for specific, what should I do tech wise, Fofa? Like that's like one of your things. So I think it depends on the content too. I think there's an area for all that, because not everybody is really able to use like affiliate marketing, but maybe I'm wrong about that, because I guess it depends on your channel. Like if I decided, I'm not necessarily doing this, but if I decided like, okay, traditional art, forget all this VTuber stuff, we're going like ASMR artist full out or whatever, and then I could start using affiliate links for like this sketchbook or these colored pencils or these paints. So I think it depends. Yeah.
I think you're discounting yourself a little bit, because like there's people in your chat who don't know who I am, right?
Yeah.
And like they want to know what you use. They don't care about like what I use. So like, you know what I mean? Just like, so just to be like, I use this, this, and this, you can check out the link. And like it's simple as that. Or like in your personal life, so like you develop a rapport with your stream and people who watch you and people you talk to, and then like so like, for example, I never talk about VPNs. Like I personally use a specific VPN that like I've become partnered with, kind of. I do have a link, and like I always, like if someone says, hey, like check this out, I always have a link to throw out there. So like if it's something that you just use yourself, why not?
That's a good point. I do agree with you. You're right. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the VTuber Voices podcast. That was such valuable insight about sponsorships and branding. I really, really loved that conversation with Fofa. On the next episode, we will be continuing our conversation with Fofamit. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye!